And finally, we'll look at alternative investments. So these are investments into hedge funds, private equity, venture capital, etc. It should be pretty clear that these kinds of investments are suitable for sophisticated investors and high net worth investors, because very often the minimum amounts required to invest into a hedge fund or private equity can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. These investments can last for many years. In the case of private equity and venture capital, they definitely last for many years. So you don't have access to these funds until those funds have been liquidated. There are some hedge funds that return money on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, mostly involved in shorter term trading. If you were a high net worth individual, then you could invest in these kinds of hedge funds. Now, private equity focus on established companies. So if $100 million company is looking to expand and they need, say, $50 million, their best bet is to go into the private equity market. Now, sometimes private equity also works on public companies, so companies that are listed. So private equity can work for private companies as well as public companies. Angel capital and venture capital is mostly focused on entrepreneurship. So they are much earlier in the company's life itself. And these companies put capital into these entrepreneurial ventures and look for big returns. Hedge funds look for global opportunities, mostly trading. Sometimes some of these hedge funds are longer term, but some of these can be very short term, and some of them churn their capital on a daily basis. But for all of these kinds of investments, you must be an accredited investor. So the SEC defines an accredited investor as someone who has a net worth of over $1 million without counting their primary home, or an annual income of about $300,000. So obviously it's not for everybody, but if you are in that category, you can invest your money into these kinds of opportunities as well. Besides these, there's real estate, there's art, coins, all kinds of exotic investments, but they're not really considered as financial asset classes because they don't trade on an exchange and things like that. So in this course, we're not going to deal with all of them. We're going to strictly focus on financial assets. As a normal investor, how you can start learning to invest in the financial markets. So that's where we stand with the intros. Hopefully this has given you a fairly good introduction into some of these asset classes. Now, of course, all of these, we are going to dissect them even further, take a deep dive, and all those are coming next. So now we are getting ready to really look at what exactly are good investment philosophies. We're going to look at a trading platform now, and we'll look at various other market concepts that you need to know before you actually start investing. That's the end of this section. From the next section onwards, we are looking directly at various market concepts, and a lot of it will be on the live platform where I can show you a lot of things about the markets. Thanks.